must go on, 'cause a lot of time is gone. We must be ready to go away.
80 days around the world, we'll find a pot of gold. Just sitting where the rainbow's ending time. We'll fight against the time, and we'll fly on the white wings of the wind. 80 days around the world, no, we won't say a word before the ship is really back. Round, round, all around the world. Round, all around the world. Round, all around the world. Round, all around the world.
Episode 16. Mr. Willy Fogg, presently attempting to travel around the world in 80 days, is unaware that Scotland Yard suspects him of having robbed the Bank of England a few days prior to his departure. Mr. Sullivan, governor of the bank, calmly awaits news of Fogg's whereabouts.
I say. 2 whole weeks. It's been 2 weeks since Scotland Yard has had any news of Fogg's whereabouts. Those 2 idiots, Inspector Dix and Constable Bully, are supposed to have him under surveillance.
It's infuriating. We have no idea where he is, and meanwhile he's financing his trip with the money he stole from your
But we
bank.
do know where he is.
Explain yourself, Lord Guinness.
Willy Fogg and his friends are crossing the Pacific Ocean.
Be more specific.
According to his itinerary, Mr. Fogg is aboard the General Grant bound for San Francisco.
Go on.
I would say he's somewhere between 40 and 45 degrees north latitude.
Let me see that glass, Lord Guinness.
It appears Lord Guinness has solved the mystery, Sullivan.
If you see him down there, say hello for me, Mr. Sullivan.
Got you there, Sullivan.
Meanwhile, Willy Fogg and his friends are finding their voyage aboard the General Grant most enjoyable.
Fogg, I'm the one who made the bet, and I know we'll be exactly right on time. Fogg is my name, I like to play with my life in many ways, that's what they say. Here I am, I'm Rigodon, I'm a Tico, the mascot.
It's my turn, the gentle touch. And mommy, they love me so much.
Hey, now the story must go on, 'cause a lot of time is gone. We must be ready to go away.
I sure getting hungry. What time is it? Oh, no wonder. It's already an hour later than I thought it was. It's 12 o'clock. Hey, good news, everybody. It's lunchtime.
Oh, Tico. You don't need a watch, Tico. Your stomach is always on time. Now, let's see. I'll have to set my watch ahead 1 hour.
But why?
The Earth is divided by imaginary lines into 24 time zones. Now then, these imaginary lines are called meridians, and every time we cross one going east, it's an hour later than before.
I find all of these changes so confusing, Monsieur Fogg. So if you don't mind, I'll set my watch according to the time in London. But how can this be? My watch also says 12 o'clock, Monsieur Fogg. Tico. If this is one of your jokes, it's not very funny. You changed the time on my watch, didn't you?
Don't blame me if your watch don't know what time it is.
Tico is innocent, Rigodon. London time is also 12 o'clock.
But London's so far away.
In fact, Rigodon, London is precisely halfway around the world from where we are now, which means that when it's 12 midnight there, it's 12 noon in our present location.
So it's midnight in London?
It's 1 hour later each time we cross a meridian into a new time zone. And this is the 12th meridian we've crossed since leaving London.
So, that means a 12-hour difference, which means it's the middle of the night in London.
My head.
Oh.
Perhaps a bite to eat would make you feel better.
Jollity prevails, but such is not the case with Inspector Dix and Constable Bully.
The heat is absolutely unbearable in these cabins, Bully. Perhaps there's a breeze topside.
Sir, what if they see us up there? I mean, back in Hong Kong, you told Mr. Fogg's butler, Rigodon, that we're from Scotland Yard, but they don't know we're on board, and if they see us, then they'll know we're still following him.
Quite true, but Fogg and his friends have just eaten lunch, which means they're probably in their staterooms napping.
Whatever you say, Inspector. Thinks he's Sherlock Holmes, he does.
I believe this is
Look,
the
it's him.
loveliest weather we've encountered since leaving Singapore. Isn't the air marvelous?
They're supposed to be taking a nap.
Perhaps they didn't know that, sir. Looks to me like they're wide awake. Hey!
Shh. Just pretend to look at the ocean.
Unless I'm very much mistaken, sir, I am looking at the ocean.
I mean, pretend that we're not hiding.
You call this hiding?
Oh, never mind, Willy. My stomach is so empty. I feel like I could eat for a week. When I get through with this lunch, and they're gonna have to roll me back to the cabin. Uh-oh.
Don't move, Willy. Stay right where you are.
Inspector, don't you think...
Quiet, Willy.
Scusate.
Watch your step.
What's the matter, you guys? I just want to get my son clocked. Tell me something. You guys get paid for being the statues, or is it just a hobby?
Monsieur, my friend just wants to get his clock. Huh? Inspector! I'm glad you are here. Monsieur, I have a score to settle with you.
When I get mad, I'm gonna bite.
After what you did to me in Hong Kong, I should throw you overboard, Inspector. You blackguard. You are a cowardly liar with no sense of honor, monsieur.
Well, if it isn't Mr. Brigadoon, what a surprise. Are you surprised, Bully? I know I am.
You serpent! You spiked my drink with knockout drops when I refused to betray Monsieur Fogg.
Did the upright inspector of Scotland Yard stoop so low as to commit the offence of which he is accused?
I don't know what you're talking about. When I went down to the wine cellar, I was knocked unconscious, and when I awoke, I was out in the street.
It was, in fact, the evil-minded transfer in disguise who was responsible for the reprehensible act.
Your death of cold.
I give you my solemn word as an Englishman, I am innocent.
Well, I don't believe you. You are an impostor, Monsieur Deeks.
What do you mean, imposter?
I mean that if you were really a police inspector as you say you are, monsieur, you would not have stooped to pulling such a dirty trick on me.
You saw my credentials, didn't you?
And now you will see my credentials, monsieur, and feel them as well.
Are you done? Very well. In spite of how you feel, I would like to ask you a favor. Please don't tell Mr. Fogg who we are.
You may be certain, monsieur, I would not bother my employer with a tale of two make-believe policemen. But I must warn you, if you make any further attempts to interfere with Monsieur Fogg's voyage, you will have to answer to me. You understand? Let's go, Tico.
Listen, you two. What now? One step out of line.
What? Did you see it? Bully! What?
What is it now, Tico?
I get so subtracted taking care of these two, I must completely forget my sun clock. There it is.
I'll take care of him.
What?
It's a lovely day for a swim.
Hey, you get on. Seems to be okay.
Très bien, mon ami. Come, Tico.
I really tell them, eh, you get on. They better not give me no more trouble.
Inspector Tom, when he punched you in the nose like that, well, doesn't it say in the Scotland Yard manual that you're supposed to hit him back?
Yes, Chapter 2, Paragraph 14 states that one must always strike back when confronting a criminal. However, one's personal feelings cannot be allowed to enter into it. Since Rigadon is not a criminal, I must temper my aggressive instincts with patience and restraint and allow myself to be punched about and kicked around like an old football.
Something wrong, sir?
I had something in my eye, that's all.
I think that was his fist, sir.
As the villainous transfer plans new ways of delaying Willy Fogg and his friends, the daring band of travellers has just completed their afternoon repast.
Scusate, I don't feel so good. It must have been all that salt they put in the minestrone.
What salt?
I didn't notice anything. I thought it was delicious.
So did I. Maybe you just ate too much, Tico.
I no salt when I tasted Rigadon, and that the soup had too much salt, I'm telling you. Mr. Waiter, could you please bring me some water? All right, be that way. Some way to you, I'll get my own water. Yours are probably too salty anyway. I tell you, they don't make waiters like they used to.
What's that all about?
What indeed? Tico descends into the hold, unaware that he is falling into another of Transfer's deadly traps.
Go now for some nice fresh water.
Nasty, are you? should fast.
Tico, where are you? Tico! Huh? Huh? What is going on, Tico? What's the matter? Huh? Oh, mon Dieu! I'm coming, Tico, my friend. I'm coming. Hold on. I'm almost there. Hold on, Tico. Tico! Tico! Tico, where are you? I'm coming, Tico. Hey, Tico, jump over to me quick. Come on. Tico, don't worry. I'll catch you.
I'm not thirsty. That was some drink.
Ah, oui, my small friend.
Captain, that will put us at least a week behind schedule.
But then we'll never make it in time.
I appreciate your problem, Mr. Fogg. But whoever busted up those casks and put salt and all the rest of them left us without a drop of drinking water.
Captain, it wasn't me, honest.
God bless you, Tico. Try to get warm now.
Since we can't go on without water, I'll have to make an unscheduled stop. Now, as I was saying a little while ago, the only port that's close enough to do us any good is the island of Hawaii, 200 miles to the south. Sorry, but there's nothing else I can do.
Hawaii, tropical island paradise, nestled at the foot of the fierce volcano Mauna Loa. As the General Grant sails into the glassy lagoon, her puzzled captain scans the unusually quiet beach.
I wonder what's going on. Usually all the locals come paddling out in their canoes and they give us a big welcome.
Well, perhaps they merely haven't seen us yet.
Yes, I suppose you're right. Well, let's get going.
Tico, Rigodon.
Ready, monsieur?
These used to be called the Sandwich Islands, Mr. Fogg.
Sandwich Islands? Oh boy, I like this place already. Oh boy, land! I was so glad to be on something that doesn't move around all the time. And it's so beautiful here.
As you probably know, Mr. Fogg, these islands were discovered in 1778, almost 100 years ago, by one of your countrymen, the English explorer, Captain James Cook.
Yes, Captain. As I recall, he was done away with by the local inhabitants.
They're quite peaceful now, Mr. Fogg, but still we better not take any chances.
As the rumbling of the volcano echoes through the jungle, the captain leads Willy Fogg and his friends toward a small village, where he hopes to obtain a fresh supply of water.
Captain, what is this place?
It used to be a prison.
Eh?
It hasn't been used for years, as far as I know.
I see.
Help me! The gods know I'm innocent.
It appears you're mistaken.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hey, wait for me!
Somebody in there?
Help me! Help me, I beg you!
Rigodon?
What you gonna do?
Well, Rigodon?
Oh, it won't budge, monsieur. 1, 2, 3.
Come.
Right
Hey, wait
behind
a
you.
minute.
Tico?
All right, I'm coming.
What the? I know him. What? That's Monty. I met him on my last visit, Mr. Fogg.
I thank the
Monty.
gods for sending you here.
Speak to us, Monty. Tell us what's going on here. What yellow-livered lowlife tied you up like this, huh?
His Majesty the King.
A short time later, the captain's young friend tells the group how he came to be imprisoned.
What on earth happened, Monty? Begin at the beginning and tell us the whole story.
Well, Captain, I'm afraid many terrible things have happened on this island since the last time you visited here.
What sort of terrible things?
The king of our island believes that the gods of the mountain are angry with us. He thinks they show their anger by making the volcano rumble and smoke. He believes he's under a curse because the Princess Kaula is sick. So sick she might die.
You mean the king's daughter?
Yes, the king's sorceress Tekamaki assured His Majesty that she could cure her with the power of her magic potions and spells. But the princess has gotten worse, I'm afraid.
Yalingi boomingi kona, amaki baraki tona. I don't understand it. It always worked before.
This is the 19th century, Monty. No one believes in sorcery anymore.
You don't believe in it, I don't believe in it. But you may be sure His Majesty believes in it, Captain. When I advised him to send for a real doctor, he threw me in jail.
Perhaps we might have a few words with him.
I don't know.
You can't. Takamaki is convinced His Highness to be on guard against the devil people who are coming to this island in a big ship.
And of course, the king believes every word of it. It's all superstitious nonsense.
Maybe so, but you must believe me, Mr. Fogg. The king believes you are devils come to destroy him.
He thinks we're devils.
I believe the time has come to have a word.
No. I should think so.
A short time later, the group approaches the palace of the Island King, a jungle fortress surrounded by armed guards.
Hey, go away. You can't come in here. That's far enough. Halt! Go on. Go back.
Stop! I demand that you tell King Pai Pai that Mr. Willy Fogg and his party request an audience. Go on, quickly now. Tell His Majesty we're waiting.
Yes, sir. We'll tell him. We'll always tell him. I want to tell him. All right, you big baby. Your Majesty, the captain's back and he's got company. Well, this is Willy Fogg, Your Highness.
Well, Captain, I suppose you can explain why there's a condemned criminal in your company.
Uh-oh.
I released him, Your Majesty.
On whose authority?
Listen, Your Majesty, I can explain everything.
I am famous for my pleasant nature and hospitality, Captain, but you try my patience when you bring these demons to release my prisoner.
That's not true. Listen here, the only reason we've come is for water. That is the simple truth, Your Majesty. Our intentions are completely peaceful.
I doubt that. They are under arrest. Take them away.
I want to see my lawyer.
Wait a moment.
Don't, Princess.
Your Majesty, we have heard the beautiful princess is very ill. I believe, sire, I might be of some service if I were given Your Majesty's permission.
What do you mean?
Your Majesty, listen.
Highness, let me see the princess. I promise I'll make her well again.
You are a witch.
Your Majesty.
You were sent by the gods to fulfill the curse.
As I was saying, Your Majesty, I'm sure I can be of some help.
I must admit you're brave, even for a witch. All right, you may try your demon magic on my daughter. I warn you, if you fail, you'll be thrown back into the volcano along with those other demons.
Yes, Your Majesty.
What? Princess?
Polo, polo, shelo, yiga, leo, lam, wichi, miki, momo, lichi, chia, grandma, robo, teki. Very well, I can tell when my services are no longer needed. You can try, but it won't do any good.
She's burning up, poor dear.
I can't look.
You must save her. If you fail,
I need hot water. Rigadon, you and Tika go and find some coconuts and cassava roots. I need them right away. Quickly now.
Hey, watch out.
Well, I suppose there's only one way to get some. Here I go. We gotta hurry, or the princess, she's gone. I think the water is good and hot now. I hope the princess knows what she's doing. This stuff smells terrible. I hope so too, Tico.
And so begin the long hours of princess tending princess. The one gently applying her knowledge of medicine, the other hovering dangerously on the edge of the eternal abyss, while outside the others keep their vigil, hoping for a miraculous recovery.
No, Your Highness.
But while the hours pass slowly for those on guard, inside the sick room time seems to be running out.
What's that? What?
Ground up chicken bones. It's a formula to make a medicinal soup.
Ay, ay, ay. You think that chicken soup are gonna help her get better, princess?
Well, Tico, it certainly wouldn't hurt. Come.
Listen, if you got any soup left over...
Gosh, Tico.
The hours slip by as the night watch continues. The volcano rumbles angrily until at last, dawn breaks in the east.
My beloved! I think she's wake up now.
Kaula, my darling. It's me.
Money!
It's all over. Huh?
Nothing.
Ah, my little princess.
I'm happy to see you, Papa.
Money, you traitor.
Oh, dear.
I know my daughter is fond of you, so to spare her feelings, I will spare your life. But you must leave and never return. You are banished.
Don't make me choose between the two men I love most. If you banish Money, you're banishing me too.
You dare speak to me that way?
Oh, Papa, don't be such a bore. Money was trying to save my life. And I love him.
Kaula.
With your permission, Your Majesty, allow me to offer some medical advice. Your daughter has been quite ill, and if you don't let her marry, she'll probably suffer a relapse.
You mean she might get sick again?
Yes, Your Majesty, perhaps even worse.
That cannot be allowed to happen.
Paola and Mani love each other desperately. The solution is perfectly obvious. Why not simply allow them to marry?
Out of the
Your
question.
Majesty, you're being terribly recalcitrant, you know. But underneath that rough-hewn lace exterior, you're just a pussycat, albeit a large one. So why not say yes and make everybody happy?
Well, I suppose even a king can make a mistake once in a while.
Better, Your Majesty?
I do indeed. Mr. Fogg, please accept my apologies for having received you in such an unfriendly manner. I cannot thank you enough for what you and your friends have done. From now on, you will all be regarded as heroes by my people. Thank you. Thank you, Princess. Now, guards, take a supply of fresh water out to the ship our friends came in.
Yes, sir. Me first. No, me.
You see, he's just
Very happy.
Fogg.
Oh, Money, darling.
Though Willy Fogg and his companions had not planned to stop in Hawaii, the brief visit has been an eventful chapter in their daring journey. Not only has it turned out to be a delightful interlude for the band of travelers, due in large part to their arrival, the islanders are happy once again. Willy Fogg and his friends will always remember their adventure in Hawaii.
Adventure in Hawaii, my foot.
Your foot acting up again, is it, Inspector?
My feet are perfectly fine.
But I thought...
I wasn't speaking to you, Bully.
But there's no one else here.
Never mind.
But Inspector...
Bully.
In the next episode, our friends are stranded in Mexico until help suddenly arrives from an unexpected source. But how can our adventurers benefit from this turn of events? And what of Transfer and his evil schemes? To say nothing of Inspector Dix, who has a new plan for capturing his quarry. Will the travelers be able to reach San Francisco? Be sure to join us as we continue our exciting journey around the world with Willy Fogg.